When I was in college, I was fortunate that a very close friend of me wanted to go to law school. He studied all the time, and if I wanted to hang out with him, I had to study too. I also dated a girl who was a pharmacy major. She also studied all the time. But for these two, I may never have learned exactly how to study. Conversely, if I had chosen friends who were partiers who were sat in the room all the time and wasted time, chances are I'd be in a much different spot today. You can tell a lot about a person by the friends they keep. Remember, like attracts like. The take-home point is this: carefully pick your friends because they will have profound influence over you, whether overtly or covertly. So you want to be very careful about the friends you pick because, like it or not, they have tremendous influence over your life today and life as it will be in the future. Imagine how challenging life would be if you surrounded yourself with a bunch of naysayers who are constantly pessimistic and constantly saying and doing things to bring you down to their level. Now, we've all met them. When asked why they're pessimistic, their standard response is something like this: I'm not a pessimist, I'm really a realist. And actually, I probably think they are realistic because when all you spout is negativity, chances are good that all you'll get back is negative. So no matter who you are, if all you hear is negativity day after day after day, you'll start to get dragged down. These people say things like, I told her not to do it, or I could have predicted that one. When you hear things like this, run away. If, however, you surround yourself with people who are positive and uplifting and of high moral fabric, you will rise to their level because of their support and belief in you during those times that are most difficult. When faced with naysayers, I remember this quote from Teddy Roosevelt: "Far better is it to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy nor suffer much because they live in this gray twilight that knows not victory or defeat." Here's a take-home point: don't live in that gray twilight. Dare mighty things, and you will accomplish mighty things. Fortunately, and for reasons I probably don't understand, I've not had to rely on others for that nudge. My inner voice has generally provided me with enthusiastic, if not always sound, counsel. I've been able to talk myself through many challenging times by imagining the positive future outcome and telling myself that it's better to have challenges now than later when the stakes are higher. I've also learned over the times that things generally work out, and when they don't, there's always something else, usually better, that's just around the corner. And but for that failure, I would not have been exposed to a whole new opportunity. So let me give you an example. A number of years ago, I had mentioned that I started at what became a large chain of urgent care centers. We were certainly the first urgent care chain in the country. 17 years later, it ended very unexpectedly, and I was unceremoniously fired by the very board I hired. Within a week, I was introduced to what was then a very novel and aggressive methodology used to see patients virtually through a HIPAA-compliant webcam. And what this means is a physician can see a patient while they're at home using the webcam on their camera. So you don't actually have to travel outside your house to see a provider who can provide medications and prescriptions and all sorts of things. This ultimately became a business I lead called MeMD. Had I not lost my job, I would never have seen the potential for virtual healthcare, and thus MeMD and all those involved and all those we treated using this virtual portal would have never happened. The first step is to figure out who they are because they're not always that obvious. One of the clues is generally they don't rejoice in the success of others. For some reason, this makes negative people feel even more inferior than they already are. Other signs are that they seem to find a dark cloud in every opportunity. There's an old saying that goes like this: negative people find the challenge in every opportunity as opposed to an opportunity in every challenge. For whatever the reason, and I suspect it's probably genetic, they can't find a silver lining in anything. And I don't know why anyone would want to live this way, so it must be beyond their control. I would try to spend very little, if any, time trying to encourage or cajole or challenge them to change their temperament. I've spent a lifetime of trying and have rarely, if ever, achieved any success. I don't think you can change a glass is half empty person to a glass is half full one. But once you've identified them, that being the naysayers, respectively distance yourself from them quickly. You can certainly be nice and cordial, but don't waste your time engaging because they will do their best to bring you down to their level of negativity. This one's easy. I simply smile and nod. On the inside, however, I may say to myself, well, we'll just see about that. But I learned long ago that life is too short, and I'm simply past the point of arguing or defending or trying to change someone's opinion who's a naysayer. Candidly, I don't have the time or care enough to try to alter their belief. I have found, as I mentioned before, that it's extremely difficult to change a naysayer. I'm actually thankful for those people that tell me I can't do something because it always fuels my desire and galvanizes my perseverance.